is a law enforcement and litigation expert. She is also the CEO and principal manager of Sunny Slaughter Consulting. Ms. Slaughter, thanks for being with us. The vice president, as you just heard, calling on Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. Now, one major proponent of that act might have affected the 5 officers in Memphis, which is qualified immunity. In other words, cops can be sued. Why are Republicans and privately some Democrats so dug in on this issue?
I think it's hard to say what they are looking at when it comes to why qualified immunity is off the table for them. It is really important that we address this matter, and qualified immunity needs to be taken off the table. People need to have options, and law enforcement officers need to know that there are consequences.
Now, the people we haven't heard from yet en masse are the fraternal orders of police across the country. They are the ones that push back each and every time there is a call for qualified immunity. So how do you tackle a lobbying effort in Washington, D.C. that is as sizable as the FOP?
The FOP is definitely something, an organization that must be contended with, and things are very difficult to get past them. I think it's time to bring all of the FOP leaders to the table to have discussions about the massive loss of life that have been contributed to, not just in these incidents, but all incidents where law enforcement officers should not be on the force, and qualified immunity has been the blanket that has shielded them. It's high past time for this to be a non-negotiable and a non-conversation.
Ms. Slaughter, I remember when the talk was about body cams, and some of the most damning evidence came from the body cam videos and other surveillance cameras that were set up. I want you to listen to what a member of the city council had to say.
I do believe in this case, if there wasn't not a sky cop cam, I don't believe we would be here. Because if you pay particular attention to the Tyre Nichols body cam footage, the officers were covering their cameras, turning their cameras off, essentially never cutting their cameras on. But without that sky cop cam, we would be having a different conversation. We would probably be accepting the police narrative as true.
It was believed that when police wore body cams, they would act differently. But in the case of Tyre Nichols, it didn't really seem to matter.
I know it seemed like it wasn't a deterrent to their behavior, the Wolfgang Pact, that it was very aggressive. However, we must remember, while it didn't deter their behavior, it does cut deeply into the narrative that they were building right after. Between the poll cameras, the body cams, they can't say, even though they put it in writing, we can now look at it. We watched this savage beating, and had it not been for body-worn cameras, that would not have happened. I train law enforcement. I've even had body cam crews in my training, and it's very important. We must not go backwards. We must go forward, and there just needs to be more. We cannot stop.
Ms. Slaughter, do we need federal legislation? After all, any laws require the police to enforce them. So what do you do when the bad guys are the cops?
That is part of the problem. There are 18,000 law enforcement agencies across the United States of America that operate independently and interdependently connected, is what I'm trying to say. And regrettably, federal legislation does not oversee all of them. Not even the training is federally mandated. So what we have to do is continue to rely on those that are in uniform and outside of uniform to do the right thing. Now, it seems like there are a lot of cops that are not where they should be and doing the right things, but the overall majority of law enforcement professionals are just that, professionals. So we can't take a few bad apples and say that this is what the law enforcement profession is like. We just have to remember that we have to get those out that shouldn't be in there and do it right away.
Sunny Slaughter is the CEO and principal manager of Sunny Slaughter Consulting. Ms. Slaughter, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And still ahead, Americans are struggling to cope with inflation and high interest rates. The president